Trying to make sure I got a good angle. So I have like this really cool phone clip on my visor. Not my visor, but on my vent. So I'm hands-free. Hands-free. Shout out to Kiki Palmer. So I'm feeling better today than I was last night. I was frustrated last night, y'all. I was so frustrated because I worked later, and then there were things I wanted to do after work, and I was like, well, I'll just stay in the building and make these phone calls and do these things. And it was interesting how me being frustrated at myself manifested in so many different ways in front of me. So I started out frustrated, and then I thought I lost my keys, and my keys were right in front of me. Like, this is it just blows my mind, like how much my IQ drops, like when I'm upset. Like, hey boo, hey Emily, hello Malone. But and see, look, that's a positioning person right there. The moment I think about her, I think about love. That's a good thing. You need to identify the positioning people in your life and recognize them. It's like Avatar, I see you. And so it is important to recognize what happens when you were in different states. So many people are probably not even aware, but I have like this 3-day devotional series. I didn't comment on it for yesterday. I'm going to go in and comment on it. But it was talking about emotional patterns, and I'm so grateful that it was, because so many times, I feel that sometimes in religion, not spirituality, but in religion, they ignore science. And science was created by God for a reason. Like, God wouldn't have given these smart behind people the ability to understand the things that are happening in the universe for no reason. And if we use psychology and understand that there are patterns that people have, we should talk about that and talk about how that affects our relationship with ourselves, which thus affects our relationship with others, which thus affects our relationship with God. And, for myself, like, I'm working on creating kind of this merge of like science and spirituality and Christianity, because I believe that, hey Alyssa, she's another positioning person. Oh my gosh, universe, thank you. Alyssa makes me feel super happy. She reminds me of all the greatest parts of my childhood. There's something to be said about the power of science. There's something to be said about the power of God. There's something to be said about the power of the universe. And I desire to combine, all the teachings that I'm learning from all these different modalities. I'm learning things about mindfulness, and I'm learning about meditation. I've been learning more about yoga. I want to find a comedic yoga instructor. If anybody knows about a comedic yoga instructor in Austin, or the Austin area, please let me know, because that's the type of yoga that I want to do. The yoga from our homeland, Africa. I'm like learning more about Christ, the church that I go to, Catalyst of Austin. It's a very scholarly type church. Like, it's not your normal church. And I think that's what I like about it. I mean, I've gone to the experiential churches, which is great, but if you never learn what the Bible is trying to say, if you never understand the context of when these stories were told, like, are you growing? Like, if you don't learn, are you growing? Like, we identify children as growing when they learn new things, when they start doing new things. Like, I know right now I have 2 beautiful mothers on this chat, on this live stream, and I bet they see their kids doing so many cool stuff, like new cool stuff all the time. And I bet they're like, man, like, my kids are growing up. Like, he just used the bathroom by himself. How he do that? Or like, did she just read a word? Or, you know, like when I said, can you do this? They said, okay, yes, ma'am. When a child starts doing things new, when their experience starts changing, when they start reacting to the world differently, they're growing. And it's the same thing with adults. It doesn't change. When we start reacting differently to the world, when we start changing, you know, in our experience, as far as like we're changing how we react to the world, and we're making different choices, we're growing. And there's so many adults that are stuck in the same patterns, in the same loop. And some people will be like, oh, you know, like I like having my, you know, my life structured the way that it is, and like it's good. Well, that's good if you see that as good, as long as you believe that not changing and not growing is good. For me personally, not growing is not good. It's stifling. And I feel like I'm tapping out on like what my possible potential could be. And if I'm not learning, I'm not growing. And yesterday was a very expansive day. I was so excited all day. And like I was talking to my manager, Rose, and she was giving me all this life knowledge. For some people, they'll be like, why are you talking so much at work? But for me, it's like, look, this is going to help me keep my mind on point for doing work. Like if I don't have my life stuff straight, I will be effed up when I get into the office. And I have some big life decisions, you know, in the next 5 years, you know, from marriage to kids to buying a house. All that stuff's going to happen in the next 5 years. And these are super big, giant, massive decisions. And I think that, you know, God like has truly blessed me by giving me the ability to learn more about myself, about him, about this world before making those big decisions. So many people, you know, end up making those decisions before, and that's okay, because what's beautiful about learning is that it can work backwards. God can have you go through experiences so that then you'll have your own aha moment, which will drive you to the education. So there's no such thing as like, oh, I should have learned this first and then got married, or oh, I should have learned this first and then bought a house. It is perfectly and beautifully okay that you experience these great life events first and then you went into the learning. Because what's magical going that way is that now you have an intention. You have an intention when you're trying to learn something new. So let's say you bought a house and you're like, man, like I didn't understand like what it meant with like the down payment and the principal and like all these different fees. And now I have this like special interest that I have on it now that I have to finish paying off because I decided to do a certain type of loan or a certain type of thing. Well, you about to be mad educated when you buy your next house because you're going to spend the time. Oh my gosh, and Missy is on. This is the universe. Okay, Missy Yarbrough is on. Another person, you heard my voice, another person that just brings so much love and joy to my life. I miss you so much, Missy. We need to have weekly lunches again. I miss you. All right, so obviously I'm supposed to be here doing this live stream because 3 women have gotten on this live stream that I love so dearly, and these women inspire me and make me want to be a better person. This is awesome. I need to start doing more of these live streams. If you agree, put some type of heart or some type of notification or something if you think that like, Elena, you should do more live streams. Because it's easier for me to do a live stream than to like do a recording on YouTube and then no. Like I'm very much a live stream type person. I'm so glad we finally got to live stream, because all live stream is like radio. You know, like it's like listening to a radio show, because it's live and it's not scripted. It's like you might have an outline of what you want to talk about, but it's not entirely scripted. So I don't know. Wait, I think I got a battery thing on so I can turn the car off. But I mean, the main thing that I want to share in this video, and I'll try to be good about saving it and putting this on YouTube, but the main thing I want to share is that, oh, excuse me, you know, like there's that term that's like always be closing, like ABC, and it's like we should be ABL, like always be learning, even though that's not proper English. Either way, ABL. Like, we need to always be learning. Always. Like, I didn't even think that me reading A Wrinkle in Time was going to expand my mind in the way that it did. Even if it's not traditional modes of learning. Like, I was just reading a book. It's technically a fantasy book, but that book is a spiritual book. It really, really is. And I listened to it on Audible, and it took maybe like 6 hours to get through. I just listened to it all the way through, and I was just like, wow. And I understand so much better now this relationship that I have with myself, how important it is to the relationships around me, and how being angry does not solve your problems. Like, Meg was so upset. She was just always like, oh, like in the whole book. And I've just never, oh my gosh, and it's Daniel. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm sorry. Like, universe is like, yo, Daniel, like all these people that like are like, just awesome people. Like, you guys are like positioning people for me. God is really trying to, okay, universe, I hear yous. Okay, so I'm going to give myself like a little timer, because like getting into work at 8:30 will be great, because then I can leave, at 4:30. So let me set this timer for myself. All right. So we got 5 more minutes. 5 minutes on the clock. Oh, y'all can't see that. That's 5 minutes. Anyways. So my main message is always be learning. Because when we learn, we change. And what's exciting is that when we change, we'll become okay with change happening in our life, because we've practiced and we've felt and we have been a part of something changing. Sometimes I feel like we are a lot more comfortable when things change and it's like of our own fruition. Yeah. But sometimes the universe like wants to put you in a time warp. They want to put you in a position where it's like either at work or at home, you're now holding more responsibility, and it's going to feel uncomfortable, boo. It is. But it's okay, because the more you practice feeling uncomfortable, the uncomfortable always becomes the new comfortable. And when you get to that new level of comfortable, know you have leveled up. You should celebrate. Get ready for the next one, because if you're growing, it's just going to keep going up higher and higher and higher, and things are going to change, and it's going to change. So why not be an active participant in change in your life? Like reading books, watching movies, doing activities you've never done before, go rock climbing, go clay shooting, do whatever. But if you've never done it before, there's something for you to learn. You could learn, I don't like this, or you could learn like, this is pretty dope, or I'm a lot stronger than I thought I was, or wow, I can shoot really well. Like when I went shooting for the first time, Maverick took me shooting, and I was like so terrified and so scared. But what I learned was like, I'm actually a pretty good shot. And like that like boosted my, confidence in myself. And I kind of felt like, wow, like there's a possibility of me having all these skills that I didn't know I had, because I was so afraid to just do the thing. So, you want to surfboard, fly a plane until you do it. You don't know if you're good at it. You can believe, oh, I'm good at it. But when you do the thing, you finally learn, I'm good at it. So like learning in every aspect, especially learning by doing. Because when you start changing the actions that you take in your life, it will start to change the way you think about yourself, the way that you relate to the world, the way that you do things. It just changes everything. And what's so beautiful is that then you start exercising your weights of change. And so when things change unexpectedly in your life, a family member passes away, you lose a job, you become like something drastic happens really quick, you are going to be able to recover much more gracefully and most likely sooner, because you're so accustomed to change. And I believe that the foundation of change, what makes change like palatable, is acceptance. Accepting that That is a situation, that is a thing. It's not good, it's not bad. Just accepting it for what it was. So you might not be living in the state that you want to live in. You might not have the job that you want to have. You might not have the family situation that you want right now. You might not be following your passion like you feel like you should be. Know that as long as your vision is in sight and you are making decisions that are in the context of your vision, think of a high emotion you want to feel. Love, joy, peace, any of that good stuff. For me, it's joy right now. I am joy. And what's beautiful about that statement is that that's who I am now. And it's possible. And just know that accepting who you are, what your feelings are, just accepting all of those things allows change to be so much more graceful in your life. Because when someone passes away, because you've been practicing acceptance, it's not saying that you forgive or you forget. You don't forget. You remember, so that it becomes an emotional marker in your life. And you accept that it happened. As in, you're choosing peace. That's really what acceptance is. You are making your own decision for yourself to accept peace about that thing. Because putting yourself in a chosen turmoil does not change the fact that it's turmoil. You getting mad or frustrated about a situation does not change the fact that that situation is making you frustrated. And you've chosen frustration. That doesn't change that you're frustrated. And your energy, law of attraction, your energy of frustration will then begin to manifest all around you in things that you're not crazy about. So, always be learning. Change is good. And acceptance is key. I love you all. Time for me to go into work. Leave me some comments, whatever. Like, how are you feeling? What is your vision? I want to be able to communicate with my lovely friends more often. My stars. That's what you all are, stars. My name is Elena, which means star. All of my people who follow me or talk to me, whatever, you're all stars. And you are made of stars. Never forget that. I love you guys.